Here's something that will inspire you. A San Diego man is proving that dreams can still come true for people with disabilities. How about for all of us? UTTV's La Loba Cichero is here with a story you have got to hear, La Loba.
Back in 2010, Stephen Wampler became the first man with cerebral palsy to reach the summit of El Capitan. That's in Yosemite National Park. With the help of two friends and a climbing chair, Wampler literally pulled himself up with his hands. Get this, 20,000 times, and it took him 6 days to do it. The documentary film Wampler's Ascent was filmed 3 years ago in Yosemite National Park. Climbing El Capitan was a towering challenge. The mountain is twice as high as the Empire State Building, and on the day of the climb, the sun was shining through the sky with pure determination. And in 6 days, torture, grit, and pure success were documented.
I climbed El Cap in 2010 to put my foundation on the map and to prove to kids that anything is possible.
That film is what brought UTTV to Stephen Wampler's house. He sits in his wheelchair in a black shirt, his hair neatly brushed, as he smiles at our camera.
Climbing El Cap is one thing, but you have to have goals and aspirations, whether you have a disability or not.
Wampler was born with cerebral palsy, and his parents taught him to believe he was no different than anyone else and encouraged him to go out and play as a child. But the older he became, the less he was able to do for himself. Simple things like eating his food with a fork became a task. And so his determination to prove that life could still be enjoyable, even if you're handicapped, was born. He and his wife Elizabeth and their 2 children started the Wampler Foundation, which raises money for disabled kids to go to camp and experience the outdoors, just like Steve.
My foundation sponsors kids not only to enjoy the great outdoors and to give them a sense of adventure and optimism and self-reliance.
Wampler's drive doesn't end with climbing El Capitan. He'll be submitting his documentary for an Oscar nomination. Peter Rowe had the pleasure of sitting down with Wampler and getting us that sneak peek of that documentary. For the public, though, they'll get a chance to see it when it's released in about a week or so. Wampler and his team are trying to qualify the movie for an Academy Award, which is turning out to be pretty tough, he says, harder, he says, than actually climbing El Capitan. In the meantime, if you'd like to get involved in his cause, just go to his website, thewamplerfoundation.org. Taylor.
Great story of inspiration. Boy, we needed that this week, right?
Powerful, so powerful. Every time I see it, I smile. Because determination is one of those things you just can't hold back. I mean, cerebral palsy or not. And it's funny, I was talking to the editor who cut this story, actually, Lara Hochuli is her name, and she was telling me she had a moment last week where she was in traffic and she was complaining about, oh my gosh, it's taking me so long to get home. But it's this kind of stuff that puts life into perspective and it really makes you realize how blessed you are and how you should be grateful for the things that you are able to do. Steve Wampler is not letting cerebral palsy keep him down. So for the rest of us, it should kind of be a moment to reflect and think, well, what do I have that's holding me back in my life? If he can do it, so can I.
Yep, and I love the climbing the mountain as a metaphor, right? We all have mountains in our life.
Absolutely.
Get out there and take the bull by the horns and climb it.
Yeah, absolutely, indeed. It's a
all right,
really
great
wonderful
story.
It's
I love it. Thank you for sharing that with us.